Hello again, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Feels like forever since I've done one of these things, but luckily, Hjalti has a better memory than the Thalmor. So, I'm strolling over here to the bench, sit down. I wore a hood at night for a reason, but I'm going to check my neck for puncture wounds nonetheless. And have a quick breakfast before setting out on a lengthy journey. How about some wine and some heavy food and an entire apple pie?
Did you have some cream with that at least? Or are you not a milk drinker?
Not a milk drinker, even with Hearthfire finally adding the much-needed option. Half a pound is very light for an apple pie. That one I cooked a couple days ago must have been several, at least.
Yeah. Very good, too. So where were we headed today?
Well, I'm not going to Phalian's house, because it's too reasonable an hour, so he's not around. He really puts the fail in his name. I mean, his sister is being menaced by a vampire. He strolls around at night at the same time as said vampire. He claims to be like an expert on vampires, but recognize them on sight. Yet he hasn't noticed that she's a vampire.
Maybe he just really doesn't like his sister.
That could be it. He does need to kind of just ignore her. Frostbite spider. Attacking something. Maybe a small animal? No. Person.
I mean, of course the dragons be worse.
It's true.
Maybe we have some gold or an amulet of terror.
But he looks like a commoner. I can't hurt him. He is a stupid person. But...
Well, natural selection will get rid of him eventually then.
Yeah, it's probably one random encounter later. Speaking of random encounters in the wilderness out here, one thing I really dislike about Skyrim is how abruptly the environments change. So, I mean, a minute ago you guys saw me walk like 10 feet from Morthal, and it went from like this snowless swamp to being this like snowy, icy mountain wilderness again. I'm going to walk like 10 more feet and it'll stop snowing abruptly. You can see over there, it all looks snowy, but when I get there, it might or might not actually be. I realize, of course, they have to compress space and whatnot, and I realize they want to have different environments, but they did a little bit too much of that. And so you usually have these, like, silly, suspension of disbelief breaking abrupt weather and, terrain shifts like that.
I wonder if there's a mod for that.
That would be quite an overhaul, really. I mean, the weather, I'm sure there's mods for.
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of realistic weather mods and whatnot, but...
Well, here's a fort. Fort Snowhawk, I think? It's full of undead and mages. It's a moderately fun little dungeon crawl, but there's no point in me going in there now, so maybe I'll use muffle and sneak on by. Hjalti sees no reason to pick a fight with a bunch of criminal mages. They're not so different. Except that he's better. So here we are, again, abrupt terrain change. But over there we can see Solitude, with its really implausible geography. But it's pretty enough that I'm willing to forgive it that. I don't mind some implausibility in my fantasy. I just like, when it's trying to be realistic, I wish it was realistic. When it's trying to be fantastical, that's fine and good. We're coming on Miko's shack over here, one of the guaranteed dog locations, one of the named dogs in Skyrim. I have never actually, in my entire Skyrim career, ever once had a dog.
Really?
I don't even know how you get them, actually.
Go talk to him. And then they just follow you.
He's a follower. Can't do it.
Oh, right.
Friendly. Probably another farmer or somebody else useless like that. Oh, and falling deer. That is one of the sillier little bugs or oddities in this game.
Important deliveries.
Almost as useless as a farmer. If you murder him, you can find like a letter that just gives you a location of a random dungeon. Nothing important about it. But yeah, I often see animals just randomly falling from the sky. Usually it's mammoths, not deer, but then you just come across the corpse later and there it is. Again, breaks your suspension of disbelief. I don't get what the idea is. Is that just like their way of making a dead animal? If so, they should probably hide it in some way. If it's some kind of bug, you would think they would have noticed because it comes up all the time.
Well, you've heard of raining manna from heaven. Raining deer from heaven, you know.
Raining mammoth from heaven?
Yours is better.
There's a hostile mage's little shrine over there. Again, he's not important. That tent over there, I think that's a Robber's Glen, but it might be a Forsworn camp. They're Forsworn very, very far away from their supposed, lair in the Reach. You often find them much closer to Solitude, in fact. Yeah, I think that one is Robber's Den, and Forsworn camps would look like that on the map. So here's the cool town of Dragonsbridge. Very, pretty scenery, neat, Viking-style village. I love that. This mysterious dragon bridge is great. I only wish it was a little bit less mysterious. We're told that it's ancient. It's clearly of some great significance. We're told that it has great strategic importance in this war. We're told nobody knows who built it. And none of these things are ever really followed up on. We never find out who built it. We never have a battle here. We never have any kind of importance to this town. The town has some, moderate interesting NPCs just talking about everyday life. Has the Penithus Oculatus here, the Emperor's bodyguard, in this no-account town for some reason. But there's no interesting quests here or anything like that. There's no follow-up on the Dragon Bridge at all. There is a quest you do near here that I'll be not doing in this run, but won't do in any kind of warrior run. But yeah, Dragon's Bridge itself is disappointingly unimportant. Let's see if I see a Frostfoot Feather right there. I did see a Frostfoot Feather. This seems like a job for Muffle. This is an impractical location. I don't really want to go up there and fight it. It'll just take a while finding a way up. And, who wants to deal with that? Stormcloak Camp, suspiciously right near Solitude, with no protection, no hiding place. You can just walk to the edge of the cliff here and rain arrows down on them, they'd all die. Again, implausible cases of some of these camps. Those... Thalmor. There's a lot of them in this location. It's near their embassy. That's the Shrine of Meridia up there. One of the best Daedric quests in the game. Probably the only, or almost the only good Daedric quest that's really worth doing. But again, for a warrior character, not for my current one.
Yeah. Have you come across the beacon yet?
No, I haven't. You can, if you don't have the beacon, you can go up there, just go to the shrine. She'll, point you to some random dungeon you can get the beacon from. You have to find the beacon usually in a random treasure chest, and it can be in just about any one of them. You'll typically find it fairly early, but if you don't find it, go there, pick up that quest as early as you can. Well, speaking of Meridia, she's often said to be a Daedra, but she isn't really a Daedra. Because, the Daedra are cosmically, defined as being the beings that did not help create the world. But Meridia did. So, she's really more like one of the Magna Gi, who were the spirits who helped create the world, and then when they realized they'd lose all their power if they stayed in it, they fled, and the holes they left behind them in the sky are the stars. Magnus left the sun because he's bigger and more powerful than everybody else. Meridia, though, fled into oblivion instead of flying through the sky into Etheria, so that's why she gets counted among the Daedra, but she's totally not one of them. And that's why she's not evil. Khajiit!
Maybe they'll have some room for them.
Alright, Khajiit, pour some sugar on me.
Take a look.
He's not old and grey.
No, there's several different Khajiit. This one just has, drunk eyes.
I don't know if I remember encountering him.
Really?
Yeah.
Different routes of different Khajiit. Moon sugar, 4 of them. That's pretty good. Any useful items here? No, not really. Alteration, no. Okay. I could sell my stuff to him, but I probably won't do so, because I know I can get much better deals once I've gone inside.
The longer we
If you
travel
come to
the roads
Solitude
of
to join the
Skyrim,
Legion, speak to
the
Ricker.
more empty this
If
land
not,
seems.
just keep your nose clean while you're here, or you'll end up like Rogvir.
I wonder who Rogvir is. Bet we're about to find out. Solitude guards have the coolest uniform of all guards in Skyrim. Luckily, you can get a very powerful version of one of their shields. Again, useful on a warrior playthrough. Really, the best gear for warriors you pick up right here in Solitude. Best sword, the best shields.
They can't hurt Uncle Rogvir. Tell them he didn't do
Let
it.
me vampire check these people. Alright, everyone's clean.
You betrayed us.
Why is there only one red?
He's the guard. I don't know why he counts as red.
Huh.
If you go up there, they will attack you.
Scum betrayed his high king.
Makes
Best she know now, Advar.
You're all hard.
Charming. So I really do like this scene. And I like that every town has some kind of initial scene going on that introduces the character of the town, the conflicts in it, usually some kind of quest.
You betrayed the people of Solitude.
This one, sometimes they're a little bit clunky, but it's annoying that you can't really save this guy. Even if you run up there and kill those people off, well, you can't kill all. Just even if you do that, he's still scripted to be dead later on, and there's no rescue. It's a shame because, of course, it's reminiscent of your character almost being executed. It's clearly meant to be paralleling that. I also think they didn't do a great job with the crowd here. They don't really sound like a big crowd. They sound like a few individual people talking very, very quietly.
On this
So it could have done a better job in execution, but still, it's a good idea. And I like that every NPC has different reactions to it, so you can get some character from them. Different reactions before and after. For most of
Go
them.
away. I still can't believe he knew what he was doing when he opened that
And
gate.
yet you were just talking about how he was scum.
Some gate guard you were.
Oh, I guess it's all over. I expected.
That's definitely
I
going
don't
in
know
my
what I
part of the
expected.
Edda.
The Edda is what the Bards call their history of all Skyrim, the poetic history of it. It's of course named for the prose and poetic Edda written in Iceland, which are our main source in Scandinavian mythology. Well, I'm just going to walk on up here
Yes.
and take a guaranteed amulet of Talos off that corpse. It's mine! Finally.
How long did that take?
Yeah, it's basically the only guaranteed one in the entire game, except Dawnguard added one way over here in Fort Dawnguard. On like a roof, on like a tiny little spot where you never find it, but it is there.
Alright.
So, convenient. Alright, so here's Castle Dower, where the Imperial Legion is administered from, although you mostly see Solitude guards around here for some reason. But through here, somewhere around here, is the Temple of the Divines. Yes. I rarely go up here, so I forget the exact layout of this place. It's only really relevant for a couple of quests. But
You must be one of those wizards from the college in Winterhold.
now this is important here.
Those who worship at the shrines will sometimes receive boons from the gods themselves.
So there it is,
The nature of
explicit,
the favors varies
that
by
in
region.
universe here, people actually can
If
see
people
these
worship
blessings
at
and
any
whatnot.
or all of
It's
the
not
shrines.
just something that only happens to the player. So clearly everybody else is
Strong
walking up here and getting
honorable always
blessings
carry
and
the blessing of the age.
cure diseases and whatnot. Yet somehow people still disbelieve in the gods. Somehow there's still epidemic diseases and regular diseases. It doesn't make sense. That's one thing that's always bothered me about this series. It's in the entire series, not just Skyrim. So, this temple has shrines to 8 of the 9 divines. The one for Talos is missing. If the Stormcloaks win, they fill that one in. Mara, pretty worthless, 10% cheaper restoration. Juliana's pretty bad, 25 bonus magicka. Akatosh, bad, small bonus magic regeneration. Dibella would be good with her speech bonus, except that she's entirely, beaten out by Zenithar, just gives a better price bonus that's better than hers. Stamina bonus, worthless. Health bonus, worthless. Stendar, 10% more blocking. Truly useless. Stendar is garbage. Zenithar here, though. This is one of very few shrines of Zenithar in the entire game, and it stacks with his amulet. So if I keep that amulet on, and I go over to my active effects, 2 fortified barters. So Solitude, you can get the best deals of pretty much anywhere in all of Skyrim. There's no other city that has a shrine of Zenithar in it, although there is one not too far north of Riften. So it's a very useful town for selling off your stuff that way. Also has a couple of unique stores. It has one of only 2 Fletchers in the game, great for warriors. Speaking of which, these guys will shoot arrows at those targets endlessly. You can harvest them. Pretty good source of steel arrows.
Someday soon you will all see battle.
There's one guy in Whiterun in Dragon's Reach's Great Ports who's doing the same thing, but he's only one guy since these are twice as fast. Let me go find a beggar.
With the
Fletching suits me.
with the shrines, she said that they were only sometimes grant their blessings. Maybe only Dragonborn was guaranteed to always get it.
True enough, but still.
Spare some
Do you think people would go to get their diseases cured and whatnot, and certainly nobody would disbelieve in the gods?
Maybe it's like the
scout in
whole.
the Legion once.
I don't know. I
all
think
the
there's a
places
story
in the
somewhere in the
wilds that
Bible
were
about
causing
this
people
where
trouble.
if you
Lost my helmet in one
look
of the old caves.
or don't look at a statue
My
or something
pretty,
like that, then you'll
pretty
be
helmet.
cured of your snake bites. And then a
Life
lot of
just got
people didn't
worse
believe,
after
so they
that.
just didn't look or
Kept
looked.
losing things.
Whichever one it is.
I think that's in Numbers, one of the Moses stories.
I thought it was rather silly.
I like this beggar.
So
He has a lot of
many
character, he has a good voice actor, kind of like his little story there. He gives you a decent little fetch quest kind of thing for a warrior, gives you some training as a
Divines
reward.
bless your kind heart. It's best
I like that all the beggars are different, too. Different unique personalities. Now that I have all my blessings on, I can go talk to this Khajiit, get some good deals from them. Usually I save general good merchants like them for last, but the Khajiit have a habit of packing up and leaving while I'm talking to everybody else, so... Is still out there, or did he leave already? He might have left already.
They heard about something big going on in the city and didn't want to stick around for it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Gone already.
Watch the magic.
Well, that's what I was talking about. Okay, back in I go. So, the other thing that's unique about Solitude is that they have the only clothing store in all of Skyrim. Radiant Raiment. And because they have a monopoly on clothing, you have to put up with a lot of backsass from the snooty high elves who run the place. Pair of unpleasant sisters. Get over here, I can't talk. Alright, fine, I'll walk over behind the counter.
Oh, let me just drop everything to help you. I don't mind, really. It is when my customers waste time chatting and not buying.
Alright then, shut up.
Let's see if we
Shut up.
can't find an outfit that suits you.
So they sell all kinds of things here. It's a good source of amulets of Talos, if you don't want to use one looted off a corpse, but you see it's still luck-based. Don't have one now. Let me get some fine boots if they have though. Ooh, Circle of Minor Destruction. Don't mind if I do. Fine boots, yes. Now I can dress in style. Practical, yet stylish. Like Colovian fur helms. Alright, let's see if they have any good rings. Oh, Necklace of Haglin. That costs a lot, but it gives you obviously 5% better bonus than the Amulet of Xanathar. Over the course of a very long Skyrim playthrough, it would kind of pay for itself, but I don't really need that much money, and I think I need it more now than I will then. Alright, do they have any good rings? Ring of Minor Health, Minor Magicka, Smithing, Restoration. Ah, so close, but no. Okay, well I won't buy any rings from them then, but let me see what I can sell them.
For the discerning customer.
Have that, and all of these, and I'm really actually using this thing. Let me just sell it off. I'm sure I can find another copy. Hats. I guess I'll keep the shoes, so when I don't need to wear my fine but muddy boots. Those aren't as good as the ones I'm currently wearing. And they have this skull symbol on them. Don't want to be mistaken for a necromancer and killed over that.
Yeah.
Nobody reacts, of course, to you being a necromancer. But...
Oh, they're too scared to.
Alright, so. There's one of the other priests of the divines. Save the general goods merchant. Let's go into this potion store here. They apparently originally sold perfume, but you can't buy any of that. I'm surprised Hearthfire didn't add.
Welcome to Angela's Aromatics. Can I help you with some herbal needs?
Isn't
You're
it
a
herbal?
traveler, correct? Have you been to Whiterun?
Usually you wouldn't give that kind of information for free, but on the other hand, she is a Breton. But on the other hand, that means she's a schemer like him. All Bretons are. So, no.
Oh, well. It was a long shot.
What are you talking
Take a
about?
look.
Whiterun is the other major trading city in Skyrim. There's like a road between the... Whatever.
So for people traveling into Skyrim, you know...
These things are counterproductive. To buy, anyway.
Yeah. Where do they enter Skyrim, though, usually? Is there, like, a major port in Solitude?
Yeah, Solitude's a major port. Windhelm is a major port, too. I'll talk about some passes into Skyrim, too. No good posts here. I don't think they ever sell moon sugar, but let me check. Blessed. Okay. But let me sell off these heavy mammoth tusks. And I don't use those, so I'm not doing enchanting, and maybe 3 of these. Good enough.
Don't forget me next time you need herbs and potions.
She keeps saying herb. Okay.
I'm a little... I've got all sorts of errands.
So, up I go to the smith. The Fletcher's no good to me because it only sells arrows and whatnot. Doesn't sell any armor or clothes. But hopefully this guy will have some useful
Seems
boots or
there's
something
no
I can
end
wear.
to the need to be looking to protect yourself or deal
What have
some
you got?
damage.
No, that's terrible. I already have a destruction thing. So useless to me. Oh. Not quite useless to me. I guess I don't need these anymore. That's about it, though. So let me actually put on my new Circlet of Destruction, and I put on my fine boots,
Return, eh?
which won't give me any more unwanted light armor experience,
Life
but I can be
never rests.
wearing appropriate clothes at long last. I think I'll hit up to the general goods store next. Actually, the only place that's left is the Port Mage. There is kind of a shortage of stores in Solitude compared to some other towns, like Whiterun has like 4 smiths and whatnot.
Biren said you got here just before the execution. Must have been a lovely first sight.
I just talked to him, but he didn't introduce himself.
Baron's my husband. He works the forge up at Castle Dower. I barely see him nowadays, what with him filling orders for the army.
They must be quite a prosperous family to own like half the stores in Solitude.
Yeah.
Alright, what have you got? Alteration, not good. No. I already have all the potions I need, I think. Do you sell? Nope. You got anything else interesting over here? No, not really. Go buy a few of those. Okay, let me just sell off stuff that's hard to sell. These I can give to the court mage. I don't need that anymore, but the court mage would buy that too. Any heavy miscellaneous stuff? Some light miscellaneous stuff. This is a little short story. I won't read it. There's no real lore in there. Same with this one. Plus, I don't have the other parts of it. Keep these for now. Never sell that. Need it for a quest. Sell that and that. That. These are lightweight, cheap substitutes to invisibility potions, but I think I'll sell them off anyway because I have invisibility potions. And maybe I'll sell off the remaining potions that I don't need. These are garbage for all characters, useless. I have tons of those, so I'll maybe sell them off just to save some weight. Got plenty for my needs anyway. Never need stamina on a mage character. Not really good enough to keep. I will probably want that later though. Plentiful, stamina, true shots. Things that are good for other characters, not for me. I could always use a fair number of potions because I just need somebody to refill. So I probably won't sell those. Anything that I can get rid of in my scrolls section? No, these are all too expensive. Alright, maybe I'll sell off some of these petty gems because I'm not doing enchanting. If you are doing enchanting, you never sell the ones that you find that are filled. It's just a convenient source of those. That'll about
Come
do.
back to bits and pieces anytime.
Well, how'd I go? Getting on towards sundown. Probably hurry to the Blue Palace before they continue to keep 24/7 hours like everywhere else in Skyrim.
And then this guy comes in 2 minutes before we close.
I hate this guy.
You help me.
Not you.
People, right?
Never helping you.
Who's that guy?
Introduces the Sheogorath quest. I hate everything about Sheogorath. I wish he was not in this setting. Everything about him is awful and stupid. And his item is luck-based, so you know how I feel about that. And his quest is stupid and terrible.
Alright, the hip bone dude.
And I'm so annoyed that he ruins your character from Oblivion. Shivering Isle spoilers, so cover your ears, but your Oblivion character becomes the new Sheogorath. I hate that idea. It should at least be optional. Let me check this court and see who's alive. Did you just... Let's see how good you are at magical practice someday, High Elf. Oh look, one person here isn't alive.
Then we will immediately send out a legion to scour the cave and
This is where you pick up that quest that is near Dragon Bridge. Good quest to do.
Your Eminence, my scrying has suggested nothing in the area.
Now, I don't know if she's an idiot here or is deliberately covering for those necromancers. It's never really explored, but definitely detracts from her credibility.
Some more tempered reaction might be called for.
So see them, different personalities in the court here, which is good stuff. Unfortunately, there aren't too many quests involving this court, but, it is nice with all different personalities and ways of doing things, ways of giving her
I will have
advice.
someone take care of the cave as well, Varnius. You can rest easy. You're dismissed.
Well, that's reassuring. I won't follow up on that at all. Save it for my warrior playthrough. Alright, what's your deal, vampire?
I have so very many.
Oh, look at your glowing red eyes.
Very few of them pleasant. I was a member of the court during the reign of Torg's father.
And nobody finds this
It was
suspicious.
Torg who appointed me to the position.
I'm not going to say this to give it away too obviously that I know she's clearly a vampire.
Very.
Don't see any benefit in letting her know I'm on to
I
her.
could not have been more proud to see Torg on the throne. He made a fine king. A fine king.
It sounds like he made a fine puppet since they appointed you to your current position. Well, I'm on to you.
Spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast them.
Well, now. Useless. No, I'm still a little bit too low level to get the apprentice robes, so. But, of course, I accidentally lost some books that I had bought with that whole debacle of that save, so let me rebuy Fire Rune. I think I got the light tomes back. This should be good, I think. Okay, so then let me sell off these heavy summoning staves, since I'm not doing summoning with staves. I don't do this anymore. Scrolls are basically weightless. I want to keep this one anyway, that's useful. Let me just sell off some soul gems, maybe. Just about perfect.
Take care of yourself, and always remember, the world is ripe with people looking to spill your blood.
About our vampirism eventually.
Nope. Like 90% of all things in Skyrim, never followed up on. Ah, here's the kitchen.
Jarls come and Jarls go, but a good cook stays for a lifetime. And I'm a very, very good cook.
I like this guy.
Everyone knows General Tullius wields the real power in Solitude. Elisif? Yeah, she's a figurehead. A puppet.
She's the only one who hasn't figured that out. She is a truly terrible, terrible Jarl. She's stupid and ignorant and irresolute. Easily pushed around with people in her court, easily manipulated, shallow, and like an unwitting dupe of the Thalmor. She's so worthless and unimportant as queen that even when Ulfric takes over, he just leaves her there.
Folks at court won't admit it, but Sibyl Stentor scares us all to death.
Maybe because she's a vampire. I can't sell the other Eider cheese wheel. I wouldn't need to if people would just sell me the darn things, but so far nobody will. Ah yes, the Bards College. Let me stop by that on the way back. Well, Hjaldar's getting pretty suspicious of vampires being everywhere now, after Morthal and Solitude both turned out to be infested. Apparently, unlike in Cyrodiil, they don't know how to deal with that local pest here. Yeah, shut up. It's because of you this town is infested with vampires. So the Bards College is along there. Not a great questline, but not a bad one either. It's a little bit useful for all characters, but not really fantastic for any of them. One of the main beneficial things about it, if you have the unofficial patch, is that one of the first quests gives you a bonus that makes your speech skill train faster than it usually does. Which is great, because speech is so hard to train quickly otherwise. So, if you want to level up your speech skill, do the Bards College fast. Later on, it's great for other characters. You can get some free skill bonuses for all your skills. You're doing a couple little quests. Alright, so here we are at the Winking Skeever. And that name makes Charlton think maybe he should ask about the sanitation here. Anybody a vampire? Yeah, the room looks clean. Hopefully it's actually clean.
Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend. Well, as it turns out, I had a pet.
So this guy is apparently the father of Sorex, but he looks way too young for that. So
they were smaller back then.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, there's a skeever head mounted on the wall over there, so probably you guys don't still keep him around.
Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Take a look.
Alright, got any Eider cheese wheels for me? No.
It's a conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy.
Does he at least have some sweets? Or just lots of wine and weed?
Yeah, nothing really good for me. I could sell him some drugs, but...
I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Please do. This inn is the richest one in all of... Is he stuck?
Feel
There we go.
free to make requests.
Why is there a woodcutter's axe with a chop? Whatever.
Fletching suits me.
I didn't know about that.
Sometimes
Woodcutter's axes are useful for people doing crafting. So it's the richest inn in Skyrim, so it's just full of valuable potions just lying around everywhere, including in your room, but you're not allowed to take them for some reason, just like the food. It's baffling. But Hjalti is getting some ideas. Wow, more potions. Now this guy's looking. But that means people are just kind of strolling around here all the time. So that's good to know.
I wish only to graduate and
He's one of the bards.
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Eider cheese wheels. Well, this room, for some reason, nobody respects your privacy in it. NPCs will just like walk in here in the middle of the night and like talk to you, or they'll try to sleep in your bed. It's the only in Skyrim that happens, as far as I can tell.
Alright. Downsides
Kinda
of
weird.
having a double bed.
Yes. Alright, so time to eat some dinner here. I think I'm still pretty stuffed from that venison chop from earlier. So maybe another sweet roll with something light, and some seared slaughterfish and some Nord mead. and an apple, and then I'll head for bed. Gonna start off dark and early tomorrow. It's a long way back to Whiterun to follow up on the Greybeards thing and whoever took that horn. Well, I would like to take that thing. It's useful to me, but I can't because it's in my room. It's too obvious that it's me. Because really, like, who else would walk into my room? That would just be silly. But out here, it could be anybody.
I mean, you could take the stamina, put it in your room, and take the magic and be like, what?
Don't mind if I do. Never mind, it never happened. Potions are always useful things to steal. Oh, if I didn't already have boots, I'd probably take those. They're currently college property anyway. Don't like how that Argonian is looking at me. Nah, not gonna risk it. No Idar cheese wheels. Sliced Idar cheese everywhere.
Ooh, sweet rolls and honey nut treats.
Yes, but it'd be stealing in front of everybody, so I can't do that.
If you
This
need
Argonian's only good for the Thieves Guild. He's just kind of a jerk.
I think I can oblige.
Out I go. Alright. We have the right gear equipped for adventuring. Amulet of Talos. I will be keeping that thing for the entire rest of the game. If I find another copy of it, I may sell that off. Or, use it for the quest, rather. Let's see. Use magic. Yep, good setup there. Oh, actually, if I'm not fighting mages, I'll probably wear the Galder Amulet Fragment for now, until I need the Amulet of Talos. So, long walk back to Whiterun, and there is a fort full of bandits right on the road. You'd think somebody would have taken care of that, since it's right on the road between the two major trading cities, and the armies have to walk back and forth along there, and it's on the way to Markarth too, but no. No. I can accept there being, like, a bandit fort right on the road between, like, Whiterun and, like, Stormcloak territory, because people wouldn't really be going that way, and now it's raining. How unpleasant. But between Whiterun and Solitude and Markarth, it's totally infeasible.
Maybe they all duck and cover and hide whenever a guard is walking by, and nobody believes that the empty fort is full of bandits.
So, going back to that shrine of Meridia there. It's so conveniently located. Like, you'll just come to Solitude and there it is right along the main road. Well, when it's dark and rainy, that's the time to be relying upon detect light, because you can hardly see anything. Visibility is greatly reduced. Anything around here? Not so far. It's going to be a long walk, so I'll probably be sprinting some of it. So much stamina as a mage, and I can just spend it willy-nilly. It's great. Anything around here? Nope. As a warrior, you can't sprint, because you need to have your stamina in case you run into something, because you need it to do your power attacks and your shield bashes and your runaways. One of the best things about being a mage is just being able to spend your... the Headless Horseman. It's no threat at all, but looks scary. So there it goes. So it leads you basically back to... hereabouts. Which is not really an important location. There's a little tiny graveyard there, there's a small treasure chest, and some skeletons guarding it, but really no importance. Oh well. Something hostile. Oh, it's the Frosted Spider from before. And there's a friendly on the road there. Well. Off I go. Oh, yes, you were asking how people get into Skyrim.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, here's Talsgar the Wanderer. So, let's see. Solitude, major trading port. People sail all the way around this terrible, terrible Arctic coast, past this vampire castle without noticing it, apparently. I don't get that part. Dawnstar, major port, although I don't know how it's a major port, because you think people would just, like, go to Solitude or to Windhelm. But whatever. Another major port there. Riften has a big pass there into Morrowind. And there's, of course, the pass that you crossed over to get into Skyrim. Some of that's accessible. And more importantly, there's Pale Pass, or it should be Pale Pass, in those, Jarrow Mountains. Pale Pass used to be the major pass in and out of Skyrim. Great battles are fought, their armies went through there. There was a city built along there. And yet somehow, absurdly, we're supposed to believe that the location was lost. This is like the joke about, like, overlooking a mountain. How do you overlook a mountain? They're huge. How do you lose a pass? It doesn't make any sense at all. But I'm not going to give him a pass on that. So armies walked through there. It was like the major trading route, and somehow we're supposed to believe that they lost it. They misplaced the pass, now nobody knows where it is. Even though you find it again in Oblivion. But apparently people aren't using it 200 years later.
You find it in Oblivion?
Yep, minor quest you can do near Bruma.
Oh, it's a minor quest?
Yep. It doesn't make a bit of sense. So, coming up on a carriage that's been waylaid by somebody.
Oh, is this that guy lying on the side of the road?
No. You're thinking of, Nilheim is the name of the location, somewhere around here. We take the, silly route into Iverstead.
Ah, yes, I was wrong side of the...
Nobody seems to be around here. No. Something over there, but it doesn't seem that threatening. Probably not what killed these people. So let me read this book. I begged my husband not to go, but he just wouldn't listen. He said if he delayed the ship even another week, the Legion would find someone else to take it south. Let them keep their blasted money. The road to Whiterun is dangerous these days. Everyone knows it. So many caravans have been attacked, so many travelers vanished to the thin air. Some say it's only bandits, but there are rumors of worse. Goblins, not in this game. Ghosts, rare. Witches. 20 years we've been married now, and I can't bear the thought of losing him. I'm not letting him go alone, not this time. We live or die together. Mara preserve us. You really dropped the ball.
I mean, I expect people to rely on their own logic, and these people didn't. They
were rich.
Money, which is why they were apparently prioritizing money. Okay.
And yet, whoever killed them didn't take the money. That's suspicious.
I preserved the thing they cared about most, their wealth over their lives.
Strange arrows. Well, Hjalti has the creeps now. He's getting out of here. Friendlies. I bet it's the... No, it's Thalmor.
Oh, you called them friendlies.
I did. Well, let me switch to some different gear here. Hjalti hates the Thalmor. He thinks these people might have killed these merchants at this point, and even if they didn't, well, there's no witnesses. Minor destruction. Necklace of Just Magic. Probably a worthwhile thing to be equipping.
Oh, you don't want to put on that Amulet of Talos?
I do want to put on that Amulet of Talos. Like you said, they'll just assume I'm wearing it ironically.
Or did you just steal those robes from
You idiot! You just saw me summon an Atronach in front of you. Well, whatever. All my dialogue options are dumb too. Another stupid option.
If you're smart,
Now, if you talk to them again...
This doesn't concern... That we are superior to men is an established
Alright, gonna
fact.
die.
For example, certainly...
Any option here results in them killing you. Although if you tab out, they don't do a thing.
And so...
Alright, how to do that to fury her properly. Never kill the wizard first, because the wizard is tougher than the soldier for no good reason. Let me make sure I've got my best stuff equipped. Now that I use the Amulet of Talos, probably want to switch back to this resist magic thing. Maybe switch to destruction, perhaps. Might need to use some potions here. Unfortunately, the fury didn't really work out as I was hoping. Almost got them. One down. Uh-oh. Oh, good. Still furious. Give me magic. Not a knife, I said magic. There we go. Oh, look how much magic you gave me. Such a smart high elf. You truly are the masters of the arcane, aren't you? Alright. Well, I'm going to probably use sparks in her to keep her out of magicka. So she can't heal herself, which is the most annoying thing about it. Another reason, don't target the wizards first. Yeah, don't believe in Talos, huh? Very foolish of you. Yet, how could you disbelieve in Talos? His shrines grant blessings. Now, mind you, most people can't shout, so they wouldn't see the blessing, but they at least see their diseases getting cured.
Talos isn't a real god because he can't give you blessings.
But he can cure your diseases. Alright, so those guys are a great source of valuable items and great light armor for warriors. If I was 1 or 2 levels higher, they would have had elven armor, full quality. So it's a fantastic, guaranteed source of that if you are a low-level warrior. I think that camp there was killed off by Thalmor. I forget though.
What level are you?
I think I still count as level 9 for drops, but I'm level like 11 or so for actual purposes of random encounters and whatnot. They kind of do things like, if you don't take your level up, they do it in the worst possible way for you, where you don't get good items, but you do get dangerous enemies. But it's still often worthwhile to save the level ups. Well, I think I'll break off into a second part here. Hjalti is about to achieve 100 people killed. If you count filthy elves as people anyway. Have a great day, everyone who's not an elf.